Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today it is the first day of summer, and if you don't know, I always like to make a drawing of my OCs for the first day of each season. However, it is also actually Father's Day today, and I thought, why not combine the two into one drawing? I have this OC named Alodia, and a little while ago I designed a dad for her named Antoine. So I'm gonna draw those two today, and that's gonna be my summer drawing as well as Father's Day drawing. Let's get started. So my idea for this drawing is that Alodia is going to be building a sandcastle and her dad is also going to be helping her out. There wasn't much of a backstory why I made Alodia building a sandcastle besides the fact that she was actually based on the three words mini pink castle, and so whenever I think of castles I think of Alodia, so I thought, hey, why not make her building a sandcastle? That seems like the perfect activity for summer. Also, part of Alodia's personality is that she very much acts like a spoiled princess. Sometimes she isn't the most fun to be around, but she does get better as the story goes on. I want to talk about the artwork though before I go into their story. Normally I do have trouble drawing ruffles, but the YouTuber Minori recently explained how she does it. She basically just does these squiggles and these lines under them and then these lines coming out. It's hard to explain, but she said it in this video and that actually really helped me. So tracing over Alodia from the original sketch was relatively easy. I didn't run into anything too hard. I had a little bit of trouble in her eyes, but like I said, it wasn't too difficult. I wasn't really struggling with anything. It was interesting drawing Alodia in a different outfit than usual. I made her a little swimsuit because obviously her normal outfit isn't really suited for the beach, so it was fun designing this. Also, as you probably noticed, her father isn't in the original sketch that you were seeing me trace over because I actually did him on the back of the paper. For some reason when I tried to do him with Alodia, it didn't work, so I flipped around the paper and did a sketch and it looked better. Sometimes I have trouble drawing two characters in the same picture without like editing them in, and this time I was having trouble, so yeah, that's how I did it. It's just very hard for me to make two characters the same size sometimes. Oh, and how he's helping like with her making the sandcastle is he's carrying a bucket of water because he's gonna add the water for the moat for the castle later. Antoine is also not in his normal outfit. I had to design him a different one because his regular one is like a suit and that doesn't really make any sense for the beach. I did have a little bit of trouble with like the shape of his face. I don't normally draw adult men and they look different than like the teenagers that I usually draw, although he is definitely a very cutesy kind of drawn guy because he's supposed to look sort of goofy, but still I thought the original face shape I did didn't look very good, so I made it a bit longer and I liked it better this way. Right here I am beginning to add all the colors, and honestly I enjoyed this part so much. All the colors are so cute. I just really like the way that they made everything come together more. For the most part, I just copied from the original color palette and then made the colors a little bit more vibrant or desaturated depending on them. Like Antoine's outfit is way more pastel and hers is a little bit darker just to make things pop more and look more interesting. I took turns with rendering each of them. Like first I did Antoine's eyes and then I switched onto Alodia's. I thought that way it would be more fun and a little bit easier for me to handle. I really enjoyed shading Alodia's eyes. They are purple, which obviously is not a natural color, but I think that's why it's so fun. I just love the different colors that I get to use to shade it, and they just look really cute. Oh, and here I was fixing up Antoine's face a little bit more just to make it look better. I still thought that it looked just a little bit too babyish. And in a moment I'm gonna go on to adding the sandcastle, which I was really excited for. Basically what I did is I went on the original sketch again and then I traced over it with a watercolor brush and then made the edges darker to kind of give it more texture, and I really like the result actually. I think it looks so cute. Now I think I've talked enough about the art and I can go on to telling you a little bit about their stories. So actually, fun fact, I thought I remembered Antoine's story really well, but I ended up watching the old video where I created him just to make sure I had my facts straight, and actually guys, I forgot like everything about his story. Well, not quite everything, literally just one fact, but to me it's kind of a big deal that I ended up forgetting that. So anyways, I thought that Antoine was a widower, but apparently his wife actually divorced him because she only married him for money in the first place. They had a daughter named Alodia, but his ex-wife does not care about her whatsoever, so now it's all up to him to raise Alodia all on his own. He is very successful and rich because he owns a very popular fast food joint. I think it's gonna be something like McDonald's in this pretend world, but it's called Julius. I don't really know how to say it. But anyways, the main thing about the story is Alodia will not eat a single thing on the menu of his restaurant, and his job, his journey, his goal is to make her finally love something on his menu. It's mostly just like a father-daughter story about her random antics and, you know, his struggle trying to make her eat something on the menu and also just raise her. Alodia also has lots of character development, I imagine, during this story, although I have not written this story, it's literally just in my head. But I really love their story, even if I haven't written it out yet. I actually got a comment a while ago back on the Antoine video of somebody saying that the story reminded them of an anime plot lot. Ever since then, I love these OCs even more because that compliment just makes me so happy. Actually, the Antoine video though was so cringe, I could barely watch it. Here is a clip from it that I was literally dying watching. I showed it to my sister and we were laughing so much.
I don't know how to say French, but I think it's like Antoine or something. I haven't ever done French, and I think they're using Antoine or something.
I feel like my voice sounds so different, like I sound so little, and I don't know. Also, I sound so tired. I must have filmed this right when I woke up. I still film audio sometimes when I wake up, but I feel like my voice just sounded literally so sleepy, and yeah. I would not recommend watching that video. Like, please don't watch my old videos, guys. They are so cringe. Like, you can watch them, but like, they are so embarrassing. Like that line where I'm like, I don't know how to say French. You mean speak French, not say French. I know how to say the word French. It's so ridiculous. I am so embarrassed by it. I can't believe it was only like 2 years ago. Like, what do you mean? You know, I do feel like my videos have improved very, very much since then. I am very happy about that. So right here, I'm just doing a handful of other things before I move on to the real-time footage that I filmed for you guys today. And this one is me doing extra effects on the eyes because I thought you might like to see how I add the extra details this time. It's been a bit since I've shown that on real-time footage, so we'll do that instead of the time-lapse. So as you can see, I already have the basis of the eye down, but I wasn't really happy with how the pupil looked. I thought it needed to look a little rounder, so I ended up changing that a bit. But once I was happy with it, I was able to move on to the next step. And that step is adding these little white circles. Later, I end up turning down the opacity on them, and they kind of add this extra shiny look that just makes the eyes look even cuter than they looked before. Once I was satisfied with how that was looking, I moved on to the next thing that I like to add to the eyes to make them look more special. So for this, I usually pick a color depending on the eyes. The eyes here are purple, so I thought blue would look nice. I actually ended up editing it later to make it a little bit more of like a red color because I felt like the blue just didn't stand out at all. But yeah, I tried. I like to add glow, and it just kind of adds an effect that makes the eyes look even more pretty. This footage has a lot of me switching between the different colors and options because I just wasn't sure what to go with. This part of adding the extra effects for the eyes is always very fun though. I don't know, it's just a very satisfying part of the process of making a drawing. And here I actually decided that I didn't like the red after all, so I switched this very desaturated kind of blue, almost silverish color, and I was more happy with that, so I went with it. I only have 2 more effects that I want to add to these eyes. The effects that I add do depend on the drawing, but usually I always add this one, and that is these little dark lines, and I turn down the opacity on them later, and for some reason I just really like the way that they look. They add such an extra interest to the drawing, and I really love it. And now I'm just doing it to the other side as well. Now, I don't know how I came up with the idea for this final effect that I'm adding to the eyes, but I really like how it looks. So basically, I just do these 3 lines of this reddish color. Sometimes I do just 2 lines, and for some reason, I feel like it brings the eyes together so well. Like, something about it just adds such an interest to the face. I don't know why. But honestly, it does look very cute, doesn't it? I also always turn down the opacity because I don't want it to be too dark. Sometimes I add effects, like this time I did add glow. But then I changed it to multiply because I didn't like it. Anyways, we are now done with the real-time footage, so let's switch back to the time-lapse. So here I was just making sure that I liked everything before I moved on to the background. You know, this is actually my first finished drawing I did of Antoine digitally. I have done his ref sheet before, but besides that, I've actually never done a full-on digital piece of him, definitely not together with Alodia, so this was very fun to work on. By the way, I might be saying their names wrong. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced like Alodia and Antoine, but like I said before in the flashback to my old video, I don't know French. I don't know how to speak French, so if I don't say it right, I'm sorry, I'm attempting. But now I'm working on the background, which is very unsurprisingly a beach. I'm super happy that I ended up making this picture. I did make a special picture for Mother's Day as well, so of course I'm very happy to be able to make a Father's Day drawing as well. I hope that you all have a lovely summer. I absolutely adore summer. I love the warmer weather. I love the ice cream and how so many companies want to make so many refreshing things because it's always my favorite. And I don't know, it's just, I feel like the world is so pretty in the summer. I also hope that you all have a great Father's Day. If you have a dad to celebrate with, I hope that it's lots of fun for you and him. And no matter what, I just hope that you're able to have a lovely day regardless today. We are very much reaching the end of this illustration process. I only had a few more things to do and I basically just spammed all the brushes at once trying to decide what would look the best, and I ended up really liking the result in the end. I feel like the picture is so vibrant and cute, and I don't know, looking at it just makes me happy. I feel like the summer illustrations I make every year are always so much fun to create, and this one was definitely no exception. Not to mention, while I was doing the voiceover, I was also working on the editing midway, and I've had so much fun editing this video. I don't know, it was just a very enjoyable process. I hope that you all were able to enjoy watching this video just as much as I was able to enjoy making it. But with all that, here we are! Here is the finished picture that I created today. Like I mentioned, this video was just so much fun to make. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next upload. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now!